adventurers. Today we're heading to the vibrant heart of northern Mindanao, an exciting region packed with natural wonders, rich culture, and warm, welcoming locals. From the breathtaking heights of Bukidnon's mountains to the white sand beaches of Camiguin, there's something for everyone to discover. Get ready to explore hidden waterfalls and dive into the stories that make each province unique. But first, I have here some pictures with matching poem lines, and I want you to guess what province it is. First, where ports are busy and mountains rise, and white sand meets the ocean skies. Gateway to islands and natural bliss, it's a place you wouldn't want to miss. This is Misamis Oriental. Second, where pineapples stretch as far as you see, a land of highlands cool and free. With dancers twirling in Kamulan's beat, this province makes culture and farming meet. This is Bukidnon. Third, an island kissed by fire and sea, with hot springs and cold naturally. A sunken church beneath the tide, find where volcanoes and beauty collide. This is Camiguin. Fourth, by bays and beaches calm and wide, history and nature walk side by side. With dolphins dancing and festivals bright, this province is a northern Mindanao delight. This is Misamis Occidental. And last, a land where waterfalls freely fall, where rivers run and mountains call. With Maranao's proud and stories deep, it guards its beauty while secrets sleep. This is Lanao del Norte. For you to easily remember the provinces of Region 10, we have here the mnemonics, which is Bukala Miok Mior. This stands for Bukidnon, Camiguin, Lanao del Norte, Misamis Occidental, and Misamis Oriental. First stop, we have Bukidnon. Its capital is Malaybalay City. Bukidnon is known as the highland paradise of Mindanao, home to a rich indigenous heritage and vibrant cultural traditions. It is a land of diverse indigenous groups, including the Bukidnon, Higaonon, and Manobo. It actually has a total of 7 major indigenous groups, and the other 4 are Talaandig, Matiksaluk, Tiguhanon, and Umayanon. Bukidnon offers several must-visit spots. First is Mount Kitanglad Range Natural Park, an active volcano, and the 4th highest mountain in the Philippines at 2,899 meters. It's home to over 600 rare species, including the Philippine tarsier and the Rafflesia scadenbergiana, the world's 2nd largest flower. Next is Alanum Falls, a 45-meter-high single-drop waterfall with a deep circular basin, once a popular destination, now mostly forgotten. Lastly, Mount Kalatungan Range Natural Park, also known as Keretungan, is a potentially active stratovolcano and the 5th highest mountain in the country at 2,880 meters. Notably, a Philippine Air Force jet crashed there during the night mission on March 4, 2025 with no survivors. The Kaamulan Festival in Bukidnon celebrates the province's founding on March 10, 1917 and highlights the rich traditions of its 7 indigenous tribes. It features dances like Pinanog, which mimics an eagle's movement to the rhythm of bamboo and gongs, as well as Tubudsil and Ingago. Some songs for Bukidnon include Bukidnon Aking Pinoy Anan by Jane No, a reggae fusion track that celebrates the province's beauty and culture, and Kinabuhi in Bukidnon by Max Serban, which highlights the simple, close-knit life of a mountain family. Bukidnon rituals include Pangampo, a community prayer for blessings and good harvests, Panumanod for guidance and protection from ancestral spirits, Panlisig to drive away evil spirits, and Pamalas to seek forgiveness and restore harmony with nature and the spirit world. Bukidnon literature includes the Ulaging Epic, a traditional tale of heroism, love, and conflict featuring legendary figures. Another form is Antuka, or riddles which use metaphor and symbolism to reflect Bukidnon culture and daily life. Example, Minikagi sa bakbak, di dalam huyakungan, tubag suyang gunuban, tampad kung kahulugan. It is manumbalay. In English, the frog spoke under the stone, the big frog answered at the end of the waterfall. It is gossiper. Lastly, panultihon are proverbs that offer life lessons through vivid imagery. Examples, ang dili magtanom, dili manguha, and dili magpuyo sa hilom, kay magapakita sa ang kabuntagon. Now on to local cuisines. Bukidnon, known as the pineapple capital of Asia, offers pineapple-based treats like pie, tart, jam, and piñasitas. Other local favorites include binaki or steamed corn tamales, sinuglaw or grilled pork and ceviche-style fish, and lunot-lot na manok or native chicken cooked in bamboo. In the healing arts, they rely on the albularyo or traditional healers who use herbs, massage, and spiritual rituals to treat various ailments. They also perform the panawag ritual, a spiritual ceremony led by elders or shamans involving chants, offerings, and prayers to restore balance and seek healing through ancestral spirits. As you can see, two key figures helped develop Bukidnon. Manuel Fortich Sr., the first governor from 1902 to 1914, who guided its early growth, and Dean Conan Worcester, who pushed for Bukidnon's separation from Misamis, recognizing its unique identity and paving the way for its independence. Bukidnon's history is shaped by its indigenous tribes, especially the Bukidnon people, who resisted Spanish rule and preserved their culture. Under American rule, it became a separate province in 1914, allowing more independent growth. During World War II, it was a key site of Filipino resistance against the Japanese. Despite outside influences, tribes like the Talaandig, Manobo, and Higaonon have continued to thrive. Here are some notable heritage sites in Bukidnon. Monastery of the Transfiguration in Malaybalay features a unique pyramid-shaped church designed by national artist Leandro Locsin, blending modern and indigenous styles. Bukidnon Provincial Capital, built in 1933, is a colonial-style landmark reflecting the province's Commonwealth-era history. And Erección del Pueblo in Rizal Park is a monument marking the 1877 agreement that established the town, symbolizing Bukidnon's cultural heritage. Bukidnon's movable heritage includes beadwork crafted by tribes like the Talaandig and Manobo for decoration and ceremonies, and the Bagobos tribe's traditional bracelets made of brass or copper, reflecting both artistry and cultural beliefs. Bukidnon has adopted modern farming technologies, including drones and agri-machineries like tractors and rice mills funded by the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, or the RCEF. These innovations help improve rice production by enabling precision agriculture, automated seeding, and real-time crop monitoring, boosting yields and lowering costs. Now for our next stop, Camiguin. Camigin's capital is Mambahaw. Camiguin is known as the island born on fire. It is inhabited by Visayan-speaking groups, particularly Cebuano settlers. This province is rooted in the island's strong sense of community, preservation of cultural heritage, and pride in its natural beauty, festivals, and distinct history that set it apart from the rest of northern Mindanao. Camiguin is home to several famous spots: Mount Hibok-Hibok, an active volcano and the island's highest peak; Katibawasan Falls, a 70-meter waterfall surrounded by lush rainforest; and White Island, a white sandbar offering stunning views of Mount Hibok-Hibok and a serene escape. In Camiguin, the Pandango sa Ilaw dance, originally from Mindoro, is featured in local festivals and religious processions, adding a unique island touch. The Lanzones Festival, held every October, celebrates the harvest of Lanzones fruit with lively street dancing, music, and colorful costumes. Camigin's official anthem, Camiguin Song, composed by Teresita K. Reyes, celebrates the island's beauty and heritage. Another song, Camiguin I'll Be There, is a 2023 promotional tune launched to boost tourism. For the ceremony, we have the Panaad sa Camiguin. This is a Holy Week pilgrimage where people walk around the island to show their faith and fulfill personal vows or prayers. Panaad means a promise, and many join the journey as a form of spiritual devotion. A key part of the ritual is climbing Mount Vulcan and passing the 15 stations of the cross, which ends with a view of the sunken cemetery. Camigin's main language is Cebuano or Bisaya, with the indigenous Kinamigin still spoken in Sagay and Ginsiliban. Tinugdan is a literary work that celebrates the island's culture, traditions, and identity through stories, poems, and essays, aiming to preserve Camigin's heritage. The title, meaning source or origin, reflects this focus on the island's roots. For the local cuisines, they have kiping, which are crispy cassava wafers; pastel, which are soft buns filled with yema custard; and suroy, which is a chicken in coconut milk. In Camiguin, locals believe in anting-anting or protective amulets for spiritual protection, and diwata or nature spirits that can bless or curse based on how they are treated. Cayetano Dondon Padaranga Jr. significantly contributed to national economic planning as Director General of NEDA, shaping key policies for the country's growth. Pedro Romualdo was a prominent figure in Camiguin, serving 5 terms as a province's representative in the Philippine House of Representatives from 1987 to 1998, and again from 2007 until his death in 2013. Camigan's history is shaped by its volcanic origins, formed through eruptions and geological activity. Initially inhabited by the Manobo people, it became a Spanish colony in the 16th century, bringing Christianity and settlements. The island has endured major eruptions, including Mount Hibok-Hibok in the 1950s, but has maintained its cultural heritage. Camigan's notable heritage sites include the old Bonbon Church ruins in Catarman, remnants of a Spanish-era church destroyed by Mount Vulcan's 1870s eruption. The sunken cemetery in Catarman, a cemetery that sank during the same eruption marked by a large cross, and the Spanish-era watchtower in Ginsan, built to defend against Moro pirate raids. Camigan's movable heritage includes woven pandan mats or banig, showcasing traditional craftsmanship, and coconut-based handicrafts like carved coconut shell bowls and decor highlighting the creative use of local materials and sustainable crafting. And lastly, for the province's local technology, they have the clay stove or kalan, which are made from locally sourced clay. These stoves are still used in rural households for efficient cooking using firewood or charcoal. And also the traditional fishing gear. Local fishermen use handmade fish traps or bubo and nets tailored to the island's coastal conditions, reflecting generations of sustainable fishing practices.
Mabuhay and welcome to Lanao del Norte, with its capital, Tubod. The rise of local identity. Lanao del Norte's distinct identity is shaped by the rich culture and history of the Maranao people, all centered around Lake Lanao. Known as the land of beauty and bounty, it is famously known as the home to waterfalls, lakes, valleys, and rich brackish water which yields the best crabs and seafood in the country. Some of its natural heritage are the famous Cathedral Falls, Nunungan Lake, and the Santa Cruz Falls. As for the dance and festival, Lanao del Norte celebrates Araw ng Lanao del Norte as its founding anniversary held every 4th of July, as well as the Giniacan Festival in honor to the town's rich clay heritage and devotion to patron Saint Señor Santo Niño. Also Sagayan Festival, which showcases the Maranao War Dance. The town's musical heritage is rich and diverse, encompassing traditional instruments like the kutyapi, a two-stringed lute, and the tagungo or gong ensemble, as well as the vibrant Darangin epic song. For the rituals and ceremonies, we have Pagana Maranao, a feast that symbolizes the highest form of hospitality among the Maranao people, and Singkil, a traditional Maranao dance, and Meranao and Pagtabi-tabi are wedding rituals that unite couples and their families. For the poetry and literature, we have the Darangin Epic. It is the longest surviving epic poetry in the Philippines and is considered a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The term Darangin literally means to narrate in a song or chant. As for the common spoken language, we have the Maranao, a native language of the province, while Cebuano, Tagalog, and English are widely spoken due to migration and administrative functions. Lanao del Norte's local cuisine features dishes like roti de Iligan, which is a thick quesadilla or empanada, as well as dodol, which is a sticky rice and coconut milk treat, and tiatig, a crispy fried rice flour, egg, and coconut milk. In Lanao del Norte, indigenous healing methods uses medicinal plants like mayana, sambong, and corn roots along with prayers and rituals. As for the traditional healers, they have manghihilot and albularyo. As for Lanao del Norte's distinguished personalities, we have Muhammad Ali Borngao de Maporo, who was a prominent Filipino politician who served as governor of Lanao del Norte from 1960 to 1965 and Lanao del Sur from 1976 to 1986, and represented the Lanao provinces in the House of Representatives of the Philippines from the 1950s to the 1990s. He was among the most influential Muslim leaders during martial law era. And second, we have Ali Pangalian M. Balindong, who is a Filipino lawyer and politician, and he is the current Speaker of the Bangsamoro Parliament. And now for the local history. The province is known for Lake Lanao, a large lake formed by tectonic and volcanic activity. In 1959, Lanao was split into Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur under the Republic Act No. 222. Tubod, the capital town of Lanao del Norte, shares historical ties with Lake Lanao, with its name derived from the Maranao word, which is Ranao, that means body of water. And now for Lanao del Norte's building heritage, we have Fort Almonte, an 18th century ruin and is an important historical site that has undergone archaeological exploration and excavation. Second, we have Macapagal, Macaraeg Ancestral House, which was declared as a heritage house by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NHCP. This was inhabited by two presidents of the Philippines, which are Diosdado Macapagal and Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. And we also have Torogan, a traditional Maranao house, and is a symbol of high social status and wealth. As for the movable heritage of the province, they have hand-woven textiles, specifically the inaol, a traditional Maranao fabric, as well as the kulintang and agung, which are traditional instruments of the Maranao people. Lastly, for Lanao del Norte's local technology, it focuses on boosting agriculture through solar-powered water pumps, smart irrigation, and rainwater harvesting, while also supporting indigenous people through programs like the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program or the Setup by DOST. Hello and welcome to Misamis Occidental with its capital Oroquieta City. The rise of local identity. Before foreign influences reached the shores of Misamis Occidental, it was the indigenous Subanen people who called the place home. Their vibrant culture and rituals revolve around their relationship with the natural environment. Misamis Occidental is famous for its natural wonders including Mount Malindang and the whole Malindang mountain range, Lake Duminagat, and the Baga Falls. As for the Dancing Festival, they have the Pasungko Festival, which is the biggest festival in the province and is a founding anniversary cultural festival celebrating the indigenous Subanen people. Next is the Subayan Keg Subanen Festival, celebrated in Ozami City, which is a charter anniversary. Lastly, they have the Dalit Festival in honor of the city's patron saint, Saint Michael the Archangel. Misamis Occidental's musical heritage is deeply rooted in the traditions of the Subanin people, featuring lively dances and music often accompanied by the kulintangan, a set of brass gongs, along with other instruments like the bantula and the agung. As for the rituals and ceremonies, they have the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, wherein they celebrate it with a procession, masses, and community gatherings, as well as the buklog, which is a Thanksgiving ritual. Subanon, pronounced as Subanen, is the dialect of the province used mostly by the members of the Subanon tribe. However, most residents are Cebuano speaking and can speak Tagalog and English as well. And as for their local cuisines, they have fresh and flavorful seafood, moron, which is a popular sweet treat, and suman. In Misamis Occidental, indigenous healing methods, particularly among the Sabanan people, often involve herbal remedies, rituals, and spiritual practices. They also have the Mananambal as traditional healers. The notable figures in Misamis Occidental who significantly contributed to the province include Governor Henry Omenal, known for his leadership in driving economic, social, and peace and order improvements, as well as Jose Ozamis Ifertich, the province's first governor and a delegate to the 1935 Constitutional Convention. And now for the local history. Misamis Occidental's history begins with the indigenous Subanen people, followed by the Spanish colonization and the establishment of the province in 1929, with the name Misamis potentially derived from the Subanen word kuyamis, which is a type of coconut. As for the building heritage, they have the St. John the Baptist Church, built in 1862 and one of the oldest churches in the Philippines. Second is the Fuerte de la Concepcion y del Triunfo, which is a fortress first built by the Spanish Jesuit priest and commander Jose Ducos. Lastly is the Casa Uzamis, built in 1904, the ancestral house of the first governor, congressman, and the first senator from Mindanao, Senator Jose Fortich. And here we have the movable heritage. First is the pipe organ of Immaculate Conception Cathedral of Osami City, which is composed of 1,936 pipes and is the only pipe organ in Mindanao. Second is the Blessed Virgin of Cota, also known as Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. The image is said to be 200 years old and is believed to be miraculous. In Misamis Occidental, technological advancements are focused on boosting economic growth, particularly in agriculture with initiatives like upgrading rice mills, distribution of the Carrageenan Plant Growth Promoter or the CPGP to rice farms, and the installation of the acetator kits for vinegar production. Mabuhay and welcome to Misamis Oriental with its capital Cagayan de Oro City. The rise of local identity. On November 2, 1929, the Philippine legislature enacted RA 3537, which took effect on January 1, 1930, dividing the province of Misamis into two provinces, namely the Misamis Oriental and Misamis Occidental. The name Misamis is derived from the word misa, which is a Spanish term for mass or a church rite. As for the natural heritage site, Misamis Oriental features the red sand beach, which is primarily known for its unique red-colored sand, the Sagpulon Falls, as well as the Makahambus Cave. Misamis Oriental celebrates its rich culture through festivals like the Kuyamis Festival, a Thanksgiving celebration honoring the province's coconut heritage and founding anniversary. Second is the Patunob Festival, which is a Marian celebration in Binuangan. And lastly is the Cagayan Festival, which is the feast day of Saint Agustin, the patron saint of Cagayan de Oro City. And now we have song and music. Traditional folk music in Misamis Oriental, like much of the Philippines, features instruments like the kulintang, bamboo flutes, and drums, often performed during rituals and community gatherings, and has been kept alive through cultural festivals and music education. For the rituals and ceremonies, they have the panlaoy for monitoring their forest, the higaonon marriage and courtship. With the practice of polygamy in higaonon society, the kinship has a patrilateral bias and it often retains traditional aspects like arranged marriages and pre-wedding rituals. Also, they have the pangampo, often described as an act of thanksgiving or worship where people offer produce like chickens, rice, and local wine to spirits or deities. Cebuano or Bisaya is the language spoken in all towns and cities in Misamis Oriental. However, there are other spoken languages as well, such as Tagalog, English, and the indigenous Higaonon language. As for the poetry and literature, we have Emmanuel Agapito Flores Lacaba, popularly known as Eman Lacaba, who was a Filipino writer, poet, essayist, playwright, short story writer, script writer, songwriter, and activist, often referred to as the poet warrior of the Philippines. Lacaba wrote the lyrics of Awit ni Koala. He also composed new revolutionary lyrics in Cebuano for some well-known folk songs. Second is Jose Maria Flores Lacaba, also known as Pete Lacaba. He is a Filipino screenwriter, editor, poet, journalist, activist, and translator. His works include Jaguar in 1979, Angela Mercado on 1980, and Pakawalan Mo Ako on 1981. As for the local cuisine, Misamis Oriental is known for its unique sinuglaw, which is a dish combining grilled meat or sinugba and kinilaw, often featuring exotic spices like tabon-tabon and suwa. Second is the kinilaw, and lastly is the sweet treat called torones de mani. As for the beliefs, healing arts, and secret knowledge, the people in Misamis Oriental, like most of the people in the Philippines, apply ethnobotanical practices, which refer to the traditional knowledge and use of plants for various purposes, including medicinal, nutritional, ritualistic, and practical uses. And as for Misamis Oriental's distinguished personalities, we have Nicolas Capistrano. He is a lawyer, statesman, and revolutionary general who fought against Americans in Cagayan de Misamis, the former name of Cagayan de Oro during Philippine-American War. And Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr., who was a former Senate President, former cabinet member, former mayor from Cagayan de Oro City. Lastly, we have Arthur Neri, who is a singer and recording artist. And here we have the local history. Misamis Oriental's history traces back to its origins as part of the larger Misamis province during the Spanish colonial era, later becoming a separate province in 1930. And as for the building heritage, Misamis Oriental features the Rizal Monument in Opol, which is believed to be the oldest monument of Dr. Jose Rizal in northern Mindanao, for it was built in 1913 by the patriotic citizens. Second is the Pilaes Ancestral House, also known as the White House at Medina, Misamis Oriental. Lastly is the Immaculate Conception Parish Church, which is a Baroque church and was declared by the National Museum as a National Cultural Treasure in northern Mindanao due to its artistic design and cultural values. Now let us move on to the movable heritage, wherein archaeologists have unearthed artifacts including obsidian stones, Sawin Kalanai potteries, fragments of Chinese porcelains, and stone tools dating back to 3000 BC with evidence of continuous occupation by early humans. Also, they have found stone tools in Huluga, along with the other Huluga cave artifacts, which are on display at Museo de Oro Xavier University. Lastly, for Misamis Oriental's local technology, they have developed a silk innovation hub and initiatives to revitalize the salt industry and enhance agricultural production through digital platforms and mobile food processing facilities.